What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel in our winter video series. I want to talk about Pontiac, and I wanted to come over here because I wanted you to see my Bandit Trans Ams, my Knight Rider kit car. That's actually car, which I thought was kind of cool because it was two-tone. I do have a lot of my Hot Wheels stuff here, a little tougher to see at night. I love collecting car stuff, and when I thought about Pontiac, I wanted to share some of the brands, and Oldsmobile we did first, kind of the dead brands from GM, really near and dear to my heart. And Pontiac's super near and dear to my heart from my family, right? I grew up in a Pontiac family, especially on my dad's side. Uncle Bobby was a GTO guy. I remember being in a 67 or a 68 GTO driving down the road and having the straps on the gas tank fall off, and we had to put the gas tank in the trunk and run the fuel line in it to get home. My Uncle Danny had some beautiful Grand Prix, especially I remember a 72 beige, SJ 455, gorgeous car. Dad had a T37, had a few Grand Prix, so we grew up with the Pontiac stuff. We absolutely love them. I wanted to share some of the cool videos on here, and not just the typical Pontiacs. I think there's an old Pontiac hot rod in here. We have a video with part of the Fiero club. We've got some GTOs, some Grand Prix, obviously the Firebirds and Trans Am, so there's quite a few in there. So please enjoy the video, and we'll come back and talk to you at the end. All right, guys, we're going to shoot this 1980 Trans Am. This is going to be the automatic. Got a chance to talk to the owner who walked through the car. This is a pretty unique color combination. So it's white and gold with the gold snowflakes. This one's really sharp too. I really like this style. Again, the gold interior with the gold bird, the gold decals, the gold wheels. This really shines all together. I like when there's a good cohesiveness, and this one just looks great. I like the turned aluminum dashes in these cars. Steering wheel looks great. The rear window louvers. So if I were to get a version of this car, this is a cool color. You don't see it a lot. We talked about, if you see these, they're usually white and blue. Obviously, everybody knows the Bandit black and the black and gold. We've talked about the blue ones we've seen recently, but the white are a lot less common, and these lines look great in the white. And again, this is a really nice version. Really clean body lines, clean outside, great looking interior. Does have the, the Trans Am 6.6. So we do have the Oldsmobile motor in this versus the Pontiac, which would be in the manual transmission car. But a super clean version of this car and looks really great. This very cool 88 Trans Am GTA. This was the top of the line Trans Am at the time, kind of the equivalent to the IROC. This one has the 305, 63,000 miles, one repaint. The car looks great. I love it in the T-tops. This had that camel leather interior that you would also see in those 89 turbo Trans Ams. I love these lattice wheels. I think they look awesome on this car. These things had amazing suspensions. They actually handled very well. I loved the interior. It was a cockpit inspired interior back then, and they did a great job. So one of the coolest looking 80s cars. And again, I love what they did with these with the Pontiacs, right? The IROCs were kind of probably more popular than these, but I think these looked better, and I love the contrast with the gold and whatever body color you want. You could do a red, you could do a black, you could do a white. They all looked great on the car, and this is one of the nicer ones I've seen in a long time. This one is absolutely flawless. All right, I want to shoot this beautiful 79 Trans Am. I've talked a lot about, the 77 and 78s with the nose and how I preferred that. Now, this is not my favorite nose on this Trans Am. It really does look good on this version with the blue. You don't see the blue a ton. There was a really cheesy movie out a few years ago called Sleepwalkers, and Sleepwalkers was a Stephen King adaptation, and the kid in the movie could shape shift. He had a 65 Mustang, then he went to this blue Trans Am that looked a lot like this, and this one looks great. I like this color. You don't see it all that often. And again, with the silver snowflake wheels, the center cap, just like we saw on that GTA, that match the body color. Cool that you have, again, all the different stuff you'd see on here. And I love the style. And again, in the blue, you just don't see all these that often. This is a really nice example of a beautiful blue 79 Trans Am, which isn't a super common color. I think there's something so pure about this first version. And when you see this one right here, the 4 headlights side by side, the 389 tri-power, so the 3 2-barrels in there. Awesome setup when you get it to work, kind of finicky, but once you got it right, it was amazing. This one's great in that blue. Black Steelies with the dog dish hubcaps with the red line tires look absolutely perfect on this car. This one has a really simple interior, right? Bucket seats in the front, no console, turned aluminum dash, Pontiac wood wheel. This is just a beautiful 64 GTO that looks great all the way around. And again, one of my favorite body styles ever, and I think the car just looks amazing. All right, guys, in the interest of always doing something different and unique, I believe you said it was a 1929. I got to look again, guys. I don't know this car all that well. Sorry, 1928. 1928 Pontiac Coupe. I've seen the Fords, I've seen the Chevys, but Pontiacs are rare. This one is cool. Again, I love an orange. I love orange, love a hot rod. Check out the monster tires on this thing. It is ridiculous. Love the style on it, but I love the color. Definitely, powered by Pontiac, super cool. This one's actually for sale for 25 grand. It's a 389 Pontiac motor. How cool is this? The phone number's right there. This thing is awesome. And again, look at those wheels. Just absolutely crazy on this car. That super short rear end. The dual exhaust still has the green plate. This thing is very, very cool. And again, I have not seen one before. So to see an old Pontiac like this is awesome. All right, let's look at this 1977 Grand Prix Model J Survivor original car. This one's the little V8, so it's the 301, the 5-liter with a 2-barrel, but this one's in great shape. And this one's stunning in 77, so the front end would change. You can see those 4 headlights would be a little different. The grille would be slightly different. That pointy bumper in the front. The Pontiac 5-spoke wheels always were there. Nice red interior in vinyl or leather. Kind of still had that tilted cockpit style, like, the fighter jet inspired, but this is really clean. And again, you'll see some of the earlier 70s, but this is a really nice version of a late 70s. This was the gentleman's muscle car along with that Monte Carlo. You could just go in and had a great style. You could enjoy it. That unique rear window. Again, something they wouldn't do all that often today because this was a lot of one-off things. And you can see that body line in the roof that goes into the rear window. Again, something completely different that they wouldn't go in and do today, where they're going to do these, significant changes in the body every year that require recasting and retooling. It's so cool to see that back in still in the 70s, they were still doing that. And again, this giant door on a 2-door and, a small V8. So this car probably wasn't very quick, but it was definitely comfortable. It looked great. I'm sure it sounded very good. So a really cool version of a late 70s Grand Prix. All right, let's shoot something again, different and unique. Overhead 6-cylinder Firebird. When is the last time you saw a 6-cylinder Firebird? And this one is phenomenal. It is in amazing shape in the red Pontiac 5-spoke wheels with the trim rings, white interior, automatic, but under the hood is the story of this car. And this is such a cool setup. And again, look at all the space you have. Giant master cylinder. You have the tiny motor with the, again, it's a 4-liter. It's not super tiny, but these straight 6s were like the most reliable motors of all time. Like, you could take these anywhere and they would absolutely just last, which is so cool with these cars. Like, these were just awesome motors. This one's so neat. Again, when's the last time you saw a 6-cylinder Firebird, especially one this nice, anywhere? And this one is gorgeous. Beautiful black 68 Firebird, Cragar SS wheels. Again, a little bigger in the back. This one is an automatic with the console. Love the style on these Firebirds. I talked about it before. I think the Camaros get a ton of the love. I think this is a cooler body style. Very similar, but I like the rear end and the front end better on these. They just look really nice, and they're just a good-looking car. So I want to show this one. Guys, the next car I want to show is a 68 GTO in the gold, 404-barrel, very pretty car with the vinyl top. Love the Tiger on the top. We grew up kind of in a GTO family. Everyone kind of loved the GTO, so I wanted to share this one because it's just a really nice looking version of the 68. And again, a lot of these you see in the green or the blues. You don't see the gold as often, so I wanted to share this because it's kind of a unique color. And it looks absolutely great in this style. Okay, so we have a 65 GTO in this gorgeous blue mist with the white top, red line tires, Cragar SS's. Love the motor under the hood. I love the air cleaner. It's got the ivory interior. This one is also an automatic. This owner here, we were talking, was in the car show scene forever. As DJ car guy, everybody just kind of knows him in the area. This car is stunning. Again, I love the style. I love the canted exhaust in the back. Looks absolutely great. The car looks incredible. So just a really nice style, beautiful color. All right, guys, in these comparisons we've done tonight, there's a lot of cool stuff next to each other. We have a beautiful 74 Super Duty 455 Trans Am, automatic, great looking wheels in red and yellow. I'm in the middle of let me out of the way here because I'm blocking people and I shouldn't do that. But this one's super nice, white interior, automatic transmission, love the wheels on it. This one looks great in this color combination. The motor looks great under the hood, super correct. So really nice car. And then we have a 79 or 80 Trans Am over here in the blue. Now this one's for sale. He was asking like $27,000. This one has 17-inch silver snowflakes. Looks great. We talked about the blue on these. It's a great color on the car. This one is also an automatic. Now these are going to be the Pontiac, this will be the Oldsmobile 403. So this is the Oldsmobile motor in this with the blue, right? So again, we talked about the TA. So if you have a TA and it says TA 6.6 versus 6.6 liter. It's going to be that automatic transmission. This one in blue is really nice, but again, you see the comparisons between the newer and the older. This one's tough for me. I actually like the model in between these two, the 76, 77, 78s, a little more. But that's SD 455 is just a badass car. Great motor, tons of torque, so it's really nice. So again, if I were to go one, I'd probably take that one, but they're actually both really nice cars. And this one looks great in the blue, and I like the upgraded 17-inch snowflakes. Looks great on the car. And again, the blue's a really cool combination. So I think he's asking like 27 for this one. So if you're looking for a nice blue Trans Am, there's one up here for sale for like 27,000. All right, guys, so we have the Fiero Club up here of New England, and we have 14 Fieros up here, which is kind of cool. You've never seen this many together, and I have the opportunity to talk to Ray, the president of the club, and Ray's going to tell us a little about their club and some of the cars they have up here. So, Ray, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
So tell me a little about the Fiero Club.
This is the New England Fiero Association.
Okay.
We cover all of New England.
Yep.
And we have activities going on all the time. We just had a club picnic down in East Hartford.
Nice.
We try and branch out all over the place. And as you can see, we got 13 Fieros here today.
And all different styles. So what's your favorite style of Fiero?
It's got to be the GT.
Okay.
This is my car.
Okay.
And it's rare because it's yellow. They only made 214
Okay.
Hills in the GT and its T-top.
Very cool.
They're very rare.
Yep.
But everybody modifies their Fieros.
Yep.
The first one in line down there has an LS 4.
Yeah, you guys know that car. We've shot that at quite a few videos, and that actually came pretty close to winning Best in Show at La Salette this year earlier. It did very well at La Salette this year.
Mine in particular has turbo and
Nice.
nitrous.
Very cool.
Because people in the Fiero group, they don't care if you modify the car because it was never finished.
Gotcha.
It was killed because of the Corvette.
Sure.
It was outperforming the 80s, outperforming the Corvette.
Same thing they did with the IROCs and the Trans Ams, right? You couldn't get a 5.7 with a manual. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
Well,
they came out with the Solstice, which was originally going to be called the Fiero.
okay.
But somebody had to admit that they made a mistake.
Well, it's very cool. Now, in the hobby, in your group, you talked about everything being modified. Are there guys that are purists that keep their cars all original?
There's a couple of them.
Yeah.
Like the white one right here.
Yes.
That's dead stock.
Okay.
But people don't care if you modify them.
Okay. So it's kind of like the Tri-5 Chevys. If you have an original one, cool. If you have a modified one, even cooler, right? And no one minds. Yes. Well, that's awesome.
You want to keep them rolling.
Well, thank you for giving us a couple minutes to tell them about your cars, and very cool collection, and thank you for keeping this hobby alive. I know when I was a kid, my first car was an 88 Fox body Mustang, and I ran up against the Fiero GT, and he beat me. He had a little modifications done, and it kind of brought me down the path of modifying my cars, so they're always near and dear to my heart, so thank you for sharing with us. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed this Pontiac video. We're going to have a bunch more stuff coming up through the rest of the season. The goal is to get a video to you every couple of weeks, so we're not kind of irrelevant all through the winter. Kind of keep us excited thinking about the car hobby. You know, again, we're middle of December now. The reality is, you know, the first show will be 3.5 months away, right? So we're not all that far off. We'll start seeing shows in April again, too, so I know it feels like a long time. I hate it. But I give a lot of kudos to the hobby this year. There were a lot of shows late into the season, so we're able to kind of stay relevant until really we had the first snow, which we had last week in Massachusetts for us. We've had a couple of days of snow, so I'm glad I got the Mustang put away for the year, but I do have a lot of passion for Pontiacs. Like I said, I'm a big Bandit Trans Am guy. I had an 87 GTA Trans Am, loved the car. Well, I shouldn't say I love it. I had a lot of problems. But aesthetically, it was gorgeous and it drove well. Just had a lot of mechanical issues. So that's it, everybody. If you haven't done so far, please hit that like and subscribe, and we'll come back and talk to you in just a little bit.